Alright guys, so tonight I was out in the woods hunting and I did not bring the camera with me. It's been a long season and I decided to go out and just try hunting, not worry about filming, and it worked. I had an 8-point come in and I shot it at about maybe 420. I actually shot 3 times, but I know I hit it the 3rd time and he ran off, and I heard him making some loud kind of moaning noises. I backed out, and before I left I did find some blood. That's a confirmed hit. So we backed out and we're heading back with a camera, flashlights, and some extra people and eyes. So hopefully we can find this buck and get him on film for you so you can actually see him.
Oh, we've been tracking for how long?
I don't even know what time. I'd say 3 hours.
3 hours. I have no idea where John hit this deer, but this is 200 yards in. He stopped. We're thinking there is some lung blood there, you know.
We struggled for a bit finding blood. Just the last maybe 75 to 100 yards, it really picked up, and it's been an easy trail for the last 15 minutes. So hopefully, I feel like he's got to be close by, and we can get back on this blood and find him soon. I'm out of breath because I've been out here since maybe 9 o'clock, and it's now 2:30 in the morning. We followed this deer a long ways. We had times where we were on our hands and knees looking for specks of blood. Then we had times where there's just big old globs of blood. And it was easy tracking, so it was just on and off. We followed it a long ways and we lost blood at the end. We did find a bed right towards the end of our tracking, but that was the end of it. So my dad and sister went back to go to sleep so they can work in the morning, and Mike and I kept looking for a little bit, and we decided to just kind of walk around the area. We found blood on a trail and followed a little farther, found a couple more spots, and lost it again. And Mike has to teach in the morning, and it's already 2:30, so we decided that we're going to leave. But on our way out, we just walked through some thick areas, hoping maybe we'd see a dead deer, and sure enough, with our flashlights, we saw 2 eyes. And it was a live deer, and it was a buck. And we decided to walk closer and closer, and it just never got up. And sure enough, it's the buck I shot, and it's a lot bigger.
He got bigger and bigger.
Yes, bigger and bigger. We thought it was a giant at first, and I said, "There's no way that's when I shot." But as we got closer, the deer just never got up, and we realized it had to be a wounded deer, and it just had to be the one I shot. Eventually, we got within 10 yards, and he stood up not very well. You could tell he was injured, and ran off about 20 yards and crashed and didn't get back up. So he's injured badly. So we backed out and kind of marked my trail to get back in for the morning. So I'm going to go out first light with my shotgun and another person and go to the same spot, and hopefully we find a dead deer. The next morning, last night we tracked the deer until about 3 in the morning, and we ended up jumping it and finding it. So Mike and I backed out, and I'm back here this morning with the gun and my sister, and we have the spot marked, so we're going to go to the last spot where we actually found it bedded. He ran about 20 yards, so we're going to sneak up, and hopefully he's in that next spot where he crashed again, either dead or he'll be laying there and I can get another shot on him to finish him off. So we're going to head back, and hopefully it's a good ending. Alright guys, it's December the 8th, Michigan muzzleloader season. We're out here in Ada, Michigan. I'm Jon Loudon, Mike Kettler is filming. It's been a long season for me. Started off back in bow season when I had that pretty nice 6-point 4x2 come in, and just haven't seen a lot of deer since. It's obviously December now, no snow, it's been warm, deer haven't been moving much. Temps are starting to drop, so hopefully a deer get moving here and we can either get a nice doe on film or even a buck. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully it's a good hunt. Can you tell what it is?
Okay. We just walked into a new area, and we think a buck that John shot is laying down there, half eaten by coyotes. He's pretty nervous. I'm pretty nervous. This is exciting. The eerie thing, I kid you not, when I was driving here, I randomly thought to myself, what if we ever stumble upon one of those deer? And I think we did. We're going to go take a look at it. We might have a really good story to tell you. A very good story. We're going to go check it out.
I don't even know what to say right now. If it is one of those deer, though, I don't know how we never would have found this deer.
How far? I mean,
half mile. I'd
half
say.
mile at least.
Half mile, and it crossed like a pond, river type thing, overflow of the Grand River, and Mike stopped me. And I thought he saw a big deer or something. Then he slapped the side of my face. I'm like, dude, what? He goes, look. I'm thinking, what? Is there a big deer? And I see a dead deer down there, and it's a buck. So let's go see what it is.
This, ladies and gentlemen, this could honestly be a miracle right now. Well, let's get down there.
All right, guys. So as hunters, I know not everyone tells all their hunting stories. This was one I really didn't want to tell people, but I shot a buck a couple weeks ago. I thought it was a decent 8-point, but not monster. I called Mike, and we went out to trail it and tracked it from 9 until almost 2:30 in the morning. We had real good blood trail, followed it long ways, and we just never found the deer. That night, when we were leaving, we came up on a bedded 9-point. At the time, we thought it was a different buck. Just in the area, it ran off, and next couple days, I searched the entire area, girding through back and forth, looking for the deer that I shot, and never found it. So I just kind of had to go on with my hunting season, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. And today is the 8th, a couple weeks later. I'm with Mike. He's filming me tonight, and we got to our spot, and he looks down, and all of a sudden he's in shock. He taps me, points, I look, and there's a dead buck. And sure enough, it's that 9-point that we actually came up on that was bedded down. So this was the buck I shot. And I mean, it was in some tall stuff. Obviously, he was a lot bigger than what I expected, and you know, we found him. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's an odd story, but it happens to all hunters. And you know, at least we found him. So I have the antlers to prove it, and he's a nice buck. Take a look at him. It's wide. It's got some tall tines, so I'm happy. I wish it would have turned out a little differently. I wish we would have found him that night, but you know, deer are tough, and this is an older buck, probably 3.5, and he pushed through. He ran a long ways, far enough so we couldn't find him. So we have him now, and it's kind of an interesting story.
Well, John and I are just kind of sitting here looking at this deer, and you know, first thing I thought was 3.5. And this is one way, the teeth don't lie. Everyone can try to judge a deer on weight, you know, balancing out the shoulders to the back end, antlers, girth, all that. Teeth don't lie. This deer has, I'm zooming in, no upper teeth. All he's got is these front ones and a couple chomper, you know, the bottom front ones there. I'm not a dentist, so I really wouldn't know what to call them, but I have friends that would know that information. But yeah, come in there, no top teeth. John's propping that up, which for Michigan, a 3.5-year-old deer around the 8 apart is not too shabby. It's not that often that you get to see a deer of that caliber, let alone be able to claim it as your own deer.